Hey, what's good, everybody? It's the Canard economy. So, guess who shaved their beard? I've come to the conclusion that I no longer want to make content anymore. Well, I'll make some content, but it's not going to be in the frequency how I was already doing because I realize I'm not getting any traction. And based off the topics, I'm pretty sure it's not going to go anywhere anymore. Because I posted content, hours worth of content. I think I posted over 20 something videos in the past week, and it's not getting anywhere. And with the view count, I mean, it's like some of the videos, it's cute. I got a little 34, 40 views, but that's not anything. And I hate to be ungrateful, but I don't mind the 34 view count. It's just the like ratio isn't there. So it doesn't feel like authentic views. Like, and then I'm seeing on my Twitter that is like the people that's replying to me, and even on YouTube, it's mostly literally just bots, scammers, foreigners, and trolls. And I'm looking at my coworkers, if you will, that's on YouTube and the videos they make, and they're getting all this traction and all that, like based on their titles and all that. So I'm not willing to make clickbait titles and make these little easy ass 10-minute videos like they're doing. Like Jet Franzen, you know, Weena something, Life of Cam, all these people. Like I don't want to be in that realm with them because I'm seeing who my competitors are. I'm seeing the comment sections, all that, and I don't want that audience. And then I'm looking at different types of content from all aspects, and I'm looking at the comment sections, and I don't like those type of people. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. I don't like that crowd of people because it feels like once again it feels like it's just trolls. I'm literally looking at the comment sections. It's trolls. It's bots. I'm clicking on their how long they had the account. It's no longer than maybe 4 years. Like, and then I'm clicking on the politic aspect. I'm clicking on their pages and comments. It's just foreigners, literal foreigners, like from different countries. Like I thought we were just on an American app. Not recently, but I like about a few years ago. I thought it was just an American app, but I didn't realize how we're all connected to like Australia, Canada. Seeing all these like Ukraine type of Slavic accents and all that type of stuff. So I don't want to entertain those type of people. And then they're not the elite of those countries. It's like they're just like the bottom of the barrel, and I don't really want to entertain y'all. So, and then I've been doing this for about what 3 months now. I was only trying to get this. I was only trying to do this for the Xbox, clothes, and all that. Then they hit us with the 8,000 watch hours and 20 million shorts, 20 million view count shorts, and I don't want to do that. And then I realized it's almost like working a real job. Y'all probably don't want to look at me because of my hair, possibly the way I talk. I don't really talk with like a hood slang. I try not to. I try to articulate myself in 100% standard English as much as I can. But once again, I'm freestyling these videos, and I don't read books, and I don't talk to people like frequently. Like I said, this is the first time I talked all day. The time is what 3:28. So I'm like I'm seeing nothing but negative in my life, and people are possibly trying to hack my phone, and my Twitter doesn't work anymore unless I use the desktop version. I'm trying to block people. All this ridiculous stuff. Well, I mean, it's not a lot of people, or it's not fluent or frequent, but it's just I don't like the ratio of when I make comments in comment sections. It's just bots, trolls, possibly people who are inebriated, drinking alcohol and smoking weed, and at the very least, they could be on other drugs and all that stuff. So like I said, I don't want to entertain you all because I see who the audience is on. I see who the audience is on all these platforms. I'm going platform to platform. I have Instagram, I have the Twitter X, YouTube, and I can only imagine what Facebook's look like. Like I have Facebook downloaded on my phone, and I still never made an account. So, and then I made a video saying, is titled "Obliterating the Internet with One Video." So, this is probably pretty much going to be the part 2 of that. So, once again, I said that people like me, at the least in 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, and 22, we decided to delete our social medias and pursue spirituality and go woke, if you will. So that I don't know what I was about to say, but pretty much we were the woke movement, and I see all that's not here anymore, and everybody's folding and all that. So I'm seeing, I'm not seeing anybody doing protest. Like, yeah, y'all taking down those flock cameras, but that's like performative, you know what I mean? Like y'all not making real change. Because for example, look at the Sony protests and all that. And y'all not getting nowhere with anything. And then I try to speak on topics in comment sections, and I get nothing but I don't even get a like. I may get like 1 or 2 likes, but then I click on their profiles and it's like a bot, a literal bot. So, and then the other people, I'm seeing the people that's commenting, like the humans, it's like the immature, they're in their 20s like me, which is nothing wrong with that, but they're not like wise. They're not considerate, or like critical thinking. I'm seeing other people calling for like death penalties and just trash talking. And I'm seeing that nobody's really elevating their mind. So it's kind of, I don't want to make the content that y'all want to make. And then I'm seeing all the, like the type of content people are making, and people are praising it. And I don't approve of it. Because like I said, I don't, like I've seen that most of the people are kids, you know what I mean? Like from 25 and under. So I'm not I said this before, but I'm not a Barney character. I'm not a Hip Hop Harry. I'm not a Sesame Street. I'm not a Wiggles. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Coco Melon. I'm not none of that stuff. So yeah. So let me continue the video. Like I said, I'm pretty much obliterating the internet again with this video by saying the only people that you're associating with on the internet right now, and probably for the foreseeable future, they said that half of the internet is now 51% or 52%, and even that's like that's a mediocre bullshit type of ratio because I'm pretty sure it's probably higher than that, but that's a pretty high percentage for this because they said that 51 to 52% of the internet is run by AI and literal bots. And if it's not literal robots, it's people with troll accounts that they made. I'm seeing 3 months. Previously, just the other day, I should have screenshotted it. I saw an account that was made 1 week ago. So it's like it's over with. Like it's the internet is literally flooded. And then I told somebody that I was gonna block them for harassment. They said they don't care. They're just gonna make another account. So it's like it's over with, you know. And that person was all the way from Brazil, fucking Brazil. So it's pretty international how much this troll immature bot stuff is going. And then they're not even hiding it anymore. Then it's all just rage bait. And I'm like I said, I'm not into all of that. And then what's even worse is most of the comments aren't from real black people. Like it's from people, you know, from the suburbs, such as myself. But, you know, I'm suburban, but it's like I'm not on some goofy time anymore because I'm mature now. Also, it's not the time to be trolling and all that stuff now, unless you're doing it on a, you know, on a war level like how they're doing with Iran and all that type of stuff. Like they're literally trolling them. It's so wild. I've never seen war tactics like that before. So it's starting to get very starting to get weird. You know what I mean? And like I said, we're also at war right now. So you know all that playing around, me getting on this joint saying, "Hey YouTube, how's everything going?" I don't really, you know, it's we don't live in a time where we can be happy. We don't really deserve to be happy right now. Cause look what just happened in Virginia. You know, I'm in Maryland, but you know, I still consider it the DMV. There, somebody just shot up the school. Somebody just shot up the school in Virginia, the college. I don't know which one, but you know, there's no good guy with a gun to save the day. And then you look at the comment section, it's just people saying, "Oh, gun reform" and all that stuff. But that's not doing anything. That's not gonna, what is the word? Persuade, if you will. It won't change people from getting illegal firearms. And then people already have the firearms, so it's like a bunch of it would just be a civil war against the police and all that, trying to take the guns and the military. So yeah. So like I said, it's not society isn't getting better, and then I'm trying to wake up society. Well, I don't want to say wake up society, but I'm trying to provide a better way of living to society because once again, I haven't seen anybody making these type of videos, and all the other videos are they're not talking about anything. You know, they complain about the same stuff from around the pandemic time, and that was 6 years ago. Like they still talking about 1984. They're still talking about uh, people can't afford houses and all that. People still can't. People aren't dating. They're talking about brain rot, and they also changed it now. It's called like popcorn brain or something like that. So everything is just repeating, and then the media has been taken over by women, beta males, and paid actors. And if you look at the Trump administration right now, all the people that were pawns and chess pieces, well, same thing, same thing. They're rug pulling. Look at what's her name, Marjorie Green. You know, all of a sudden this She folded, and now she's trying to expose Trump after working with him. What's the other one that just she just had a baby? She was like the House Speaker or whatever, like Levette or something like that. Her last name. Like I said, I don't keep track of all this stuff anymore. I try to, but it's like I don't have time to keep track of all that. Then they're not talking about anything. You know what I mean? Then they're releasing UFO information and all that. So I'm past all this other shit. You know what I mean? Then I asked if y'all wanted a revolution. Nobody said anything. So I'm not gonna get on here and talk about that real stuff. And what's even worse, the content I'm not getting like real world content until I click on it. Then it says 13 hours ago. So my algorithm isn't in real time on Twitter. So it's just bad, you know. And lastly, I came to the conclusion with this 8,000 valid hours and social media in general right now. I believe that we're here to train their AIs, their artificial intelligence, even the robots, not just the chat GPTs, but the humanoid robots. I believe they're like how I'm making a video right now. I believe that's why they upgraded the hours and still have social media on, so we can train the AI. For example, like how I have my face shaved and everything. They're more than likely scanning my face like on a deep level. Like we just see the camera, but there's somebody tracking me and everything, like on a computer, like a security database. Like they could see like it's like a green square on my face, if you will. I know y'all probably seen that in like some movies or shows. It's either like a red square, like for facial recognition. Well, even on Snapchat and all that. I don't have that anymore, but I used to be active, when I had friends and all that. We used to do Snapchat streaks and all that bullshit. So, like I said, all that stuff, the filters, I believe all that's algorithms and AI trying to program their robots. So, and that's why they're paying all these content creators and all that to do this. And they're paying them nothing at that, unless they're doing like a Kai Cenat. Look at these people. Fuck it. All right, whatever, bro. See, that's what I'm saying. I was trying to lower the brightness so I could show them. I could show them. Look at this. They just chilling on the back of the truck. They was just riding around. So, like I said, the people don't speak to me outside. I'm seeing like my areas are being taken over by foreigners who don't speak English per se. So it's kind of, and then I'm seeing the black community. It's kind of over with. Even street culture. If you look at hip hop, they just showed who's topping the charts this week. It was Pooh Shiesty, Future's The Real Me, and I still didn't hear both of those tapes yet, and I don't feel compelled to. So, and I just heard Uzi's tape, and it's like, ugh. And nobody's really talking about these tapes on a deep level, so that means they're not talking about anything meaningful in the music. So I'm not really missing out on anything. It may be a new sound, like some new beats or whatever. But I'm like I said, y'all seen how many songs I'm working with. Like I'm good off the music, bro. Like I'm good off all that stuff. And then I'm listening to new music, like they're cucking us in the music. So I just heard the female rapper Rico Nasty from the same area that I'm from, PG County. And I just heard her song called CDG Phones, and we wear phone posits around here, it's called Nike Air phone posits. Y'all can check that out. They're $250, and they used to be robbing people for those. And a lot, like I said, a lot of people are they're not they're dead now because they want to wear those shoes back in the day, and they was killing people for Helly Hansons. They was yep, here go right here. So they were killing people for these type of stuff, like these Helly Hansen overalls. You know, I just walking down. Remember I showed y'all that video where I had the shopping cart. They used to rob people on that street. Like this the main road. If you was walking with this type of this Helly Hansen overalls in the winter, they would literally strip you naked and take your shoes and everything and have you walk home or you know to the police station or something. So thank God everybody decided to elevate their money level. So they're still doing that, but they're doing it for I'm not gonna show it. They robbing people for more expensive clothing now. So the black community is pretty much over with. And I was speaking on the albums again. The top 5 albums were from somebody named Pooh Shiesty, and I don't like his voice and all that. I don't like the Memphis accent, the brr. Well, it's okay because I kind of talk like that sometimes, but I don't like that. I don't like hearing Southern people talk all the time. It's very very annoying. And then they're loud, so it's like they be like the people from Atlanta. They be like, I'm not going I'm not gonna make fun of them, but y'all know what Atlanta accents sound like, and y'all know how they act. Shout out them though, but you know, I don't want to hear them talk all day or rap. But he I didn't mean to say but Pooh Shiesty is from Memphis, so that's even worse. That's even worse than Atlanta. And then he's in jail right now, so it's like I don't really. Well, okay, I misspoke. I misspoke. But long story short about the albums, it's he's the only one that's like a real street dude that's in the top 5 albums right now that of this week. For example, the main three. Well, he had the number one, and it was only 51,000, which isn't shit. You know, that's not shit. Like compared to around the world, like some of these people get 100,000 album sales and all that type of stuff. But once again, that was just this week. But 51,000 for international music is that's not really that good. So, like I was saying, Pooh it was Pooh Shiesty, but three of the albums were from Drake. So that was what Views. I still never even heard that. I still never even heard that album. He had Views, Iceman, which I still didn't hear, nor did I feel compelled to listen to. It was Iceman, Views, and was it Take Care? Like I don't remember the the exact thing, but it was something similar to that. I know for a fact it was Iceman and Views, but I forgot the third one. But the top 5 albums was the Pooh Shiesty, Drake's Iceman, another Drake, another Drake album. Then it was the Futures, The Real Me, and then it was Views by Drake. So the main, like nobody, how am I trying to say this? The rapper Drake. He's from Canada, so we're letting a foreigner take over our rap culture and all that. Like once again, he's low key cucking us with this music, but nobody wants to acknowledge it because it's a monopoly on music. So therefore, they kind of don't have a choice but to listen to that music because it's the best stuff out. I don't think it's the best stuff out, but to their ears, it's the hottest stuff out right now. So once again, I'm seeing who the target audience are for these people, and it's not good at all. Because once again, this is supposed to be like rap, hip hop, street culture, and all that stuff. And you mean to tell me we have 50 states and the three top albums this week, like that I'm speaking of right now? It's what August 15th, 2026 on Saturday. The 5 albums that people are listening to right now is from the same person. It's for three of the top things is from the same person, and he isn't even from America. Nor was he even associated. I mean, he's associated with the streets now, but this dude used to be on Degrassi. you know. So it's like old Chief Keef isn't being played. Back to Ballin', no Kodak Black, no, like we got Pooh Shiesty, but that's only because he robbed Gucci Man, and that's even worse. Gucci Man, he's supposed to be the staple of the streets. He didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like in a long time ago, in the truth, he allegedly he killed some people in self defense, but he didn't do that with Pooh Shiesty, and that didn't stop Pooh Shiesty from robbing him and all that. He didn't care about none of that stuff. So it really, and then if you look at the other old heads like Gucci, Waka Flocka Flame, all these dudes, they turned the new leaf. Now they talking all proper and you know these niggas snitching, all that stuff. It's like it's very very pathetic. But then they influenced us to be street. Trap God, all that stuff. Like I said, I don't even listen to that stuff no more. It's so lame to me. You know. Ti versus Tip. Little things like that we used to listen to. Yeah. Oh, I was about to show them. I ain't gonna do that. But there was somebody just sitting outside my house, across the street. They live across the street, but he's like right in the middle of the street, just doing whatever. So I ain't gonna show him. All right. So like I said, I don't like the target audience of social media and all that, because once again, everybody should have looked at the Netflix episode, not episode, but the documentary, the social dilemma. And once you see that, it makes you not want to be on your phone or scroll and doom scroll and all that, because you see how it looks like from a third person view. You look like a zombie, just, you know what I mean? And they show like these little animated series and animated cartoons of that on a horrific level to wake everybody up, which is good. That's being woke. Like you have to do things like that to get people to really see the criticalness of it. So, and then what's even worse, and that was before AI was introduced heavy, but I'm pretty sure it was still around. I'm pretty sure that was still around. They just was suppressing it, which is what the news is doing right now. They're not talking about anything. Like they're not even talking about the Iran war. They just showed. I'm gonna get that in a minute, but they're not even talking about anything like major on the news. And then it's all not once again, but it's all women, so they're not in the loop. And then they're slaves at the very least they're slaves. So it's like they can't really do anything. I mean, they can. It's just they're trying to. They're doing slave shit. Like they're just finessing the slave master, which is men, somewhat, well, alpha men, in the patriarchy, if you will. But we don't really live in a patriarchy. Somewhat. Because we realize that we need women to have a society. So therefore, they have more favor on the government and all that. So, because we don't get anything from living in the society. I mean, we get military resources. That's it. But in return, we have to join the military. Like if somebody comes invade, like for example, if I'm talking right now, and China or Iran comes through with a plane like that, we got to ship out, which is called the draft. So society isn't really for us unless we're willing to, kill and all that, and we're not supposed to be doing that. And why you think they want us to kill? Because they don't want to do it because they're trying to ascend, like I'm trying to ascend to heaven, you know. But a lot of guys, they already believe in killing, so they're pretty much finessing them, with money and women. They say, hey, if you come kill for us, we'll pay for your college. You'll have a beautiful woman, a 9 out of 10 high value woman. but in return you have to kill for her. You know, so that's kind of the contract between men and women. It's like she should be pooping out some kids, and not just one. She should be pooping out some kids, and in return, you are supposed to protect the family and all that. So, and that's why I believe a lot of women said, forget about that. They decided to say they decided to be the men. So they went to work and all that, and some even joined the military just to not have kids and all that. So I don't even know if we're even gonna have a society anymore. And as you can see, they took over the media. You know, they're being pawns for the government. You know, because they're using witchcraft on men, like saying a man should never hit a woman, a man should never argue with a woman. It's how you supposed to how you supposed to discipline. You know what I'm saying? So, because y'all believe in spankings, right? Y'all believe in spanking kids, right? So, yeah, I'm gonna let y'all figure that out. I'm not even gonna get into it because you know the Agent Smiths. If y'all seen the movie The Matrix, the Agent Smiths are gonna start attacking me, saying, "Oh, he's wrong" and all that. Because I was on Twitter. I even said something like that about what's that dude, Tom Holland and Zendaya. He said some dumb shit. He was like, "I'm just happy to be with my girlfriend or wife. I don't know if they got married or not, but he was like, he was just happy to be with his wife, Zendaya. I'm not going to comment on that. I don't care. I don't even, like I said, I don't even feel like making these videos no more. So it's like, I don't even care. Nobody will be going to see the video. So it's like, fuck it. You know. And then it's already 31 minutes. It may cut off on me. So, uh, like I said, I'm obliterating the internet one more time with this video by saying, I believe that we are here now to train the AI entity that we can't see, but it's here. Like it's a real living entity. You know, like on I guess I'd say Terminator. I never even seen that movie. You know, I played the video game and the video game at the arcade. But even I came to that conclusion of saying, oh yeah, that's like I got the gist of these movies, but I never like sat down and watched them. You know what I mean? You know, because that's not really the gist of the movie. No, it's the gist of the movie, but that's not like the storyline. You know what I mean? So yeah, for example, how I'm making these videos, they're gonna take my likeness and all that type of stuff, and they're doing that now on Twitch allegedly, like they're training algorithms and all that. So they're using me for the facials. That sounds crazy for for the facial recognitions, not the facials. Using me for the facial recognition, and it's already cut off. So for the facial recognitions, and you all are here to comment and feed the algorithm of what people want to see. So y'all are here to be the of what people are willing to watch, you know, like on an addicted level. Because most people, like I said, not most people, I know for a fact everybody now is chronically online and addicted to their cell phones. So they're picking a specific target audience that's addicted to their phones and are what is the word, susceptible to clickbait. You know, like it's like it is so captivating or it's pulling you so much that you have no choice but to click on the video. You know what I mean? Which is witchcraft, and I don't want to do that on y'all. Because even though nobody speaks on it, that's witchcraft. Like if they forcing you to click on that video and you can't look at it, like you can't look away and all that, that's witchcraft. You know, because our English language is a mixture of languages. It's not just you know like it's mixed with French and all that stuff. I don't know. It's mixed together to have like the perfect language to control us. You know, because it's magic. Like for example, I could call some like if I walk outside right now, I can either make somebody smile, I can make them want to kill me, I can wake them up like I'm doing right now. So And it's all witchcraft and all that stuff. So yeah, and you actually get to see what I look like now. You know, I cut my beard. So I'm gonna cut this video off, and I'm only gonna make a few more videos, and I'm gonna just go from there. I don't really, like I said, I don't really want to make content no more. But then when I start flowing like this, it's fun, you know. But I don't want to be forced to do 4,000 hours and 8,000 hours. Because I was looking at a video, they're pretty much getting free money off us by doing those, by adding that 8,000 watch hours. So I don't respect that at all. Because like I said, all this stuff feels like, excuse me, like I feel like I'm entertaining you all on a clown on a clown level. Because at first I didn't feel like making this video. I was like, getting on the camera and just, you know, talking. But I was like, I gotta do this for some money, and it's like, and that makes it even worse. You know what I mean? It's like it makes it even. It's like, ugh. But now I feel nice because I'm flowing and everything. But I don't like how I make these long videos and their quality, and I'm not getting any likes. Like I said, I made 20 videos, and the most I got was maybe 5 views. And I don't mind getting the 5 views, but I don't have 5 likes attached to it. So the ratio isn't there, and possibly it could be me watching the video, you know, because I try to look back on it just to review how it looks and all that. And I enjoy my content, so I'm gonna watch my own content because I can't find any content of my own, which is why I started making videos and all that. There's other reasons that I already mentioned, but like I said, I try to look at all this content and they're not talking about anything, but then they end up getting thousands of views and all that. Just like that girl Xena Weena, she's doing Twitch now, but she didn't start out doing Twitch, or she didn't let anybody know that she was going to be doing Twitch. So once again, it feels like rug pulls, and it feels like they're trying to. It feels like they're running game on us. And like I said in a previous video, I don't know if these are the same type of people like how I'm making these videos. Like, cause in the background, these people could be sponsored and all that. Like you'll never know. And like look at that dude Clavicular. Like I was liking him at first, but then he went off the deep end. It was he's so lame now. And I was okay with the plastic surgery aspect, but it's starting to get out of hand. He's doing like other things. He's putting on makeup. He's communion with I don't I'm not gonna say I agree with Israel or Palestine because I don't really know the beef because it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like everybody's protesting, but they're still doing things. So it's like it's a waste of time looking at that stuff. You know, y'all said like APOC and all that. I don't know what that is. You know, and I could search it up, but I'm like, y'all know about that stuff and y'all didn't do shit about it. So why would I waste my time? You know, y'all have leverage and all that, and y'all not doing shit about it. Y'all just yapping on in the comment sections, pretty much just being racist and what is the other one? Uh, just doing hate crimes against Jews and all that. And it would be understandable if y'all were around them, but a lot of y'all never met a Jew in y'all life, so it's like it's almost like propaganda, if you will. And that could be from the alt right movement, you know, because we don't even see those people. You know, they're still around, like the KKK and these alt right groups, and even the left. The what is that? The Antifa. All these people are around, but you know we don't see them anymore. Like for example, in 2016, 2017, we used to see all these people. The what was that? The what is it called? See, all this stuff is so much stuff I can't even remember. But it was the Proud Boys, I believe. Like we don't see them anymore. We don't even see MAGA anymore, or the LGBT. You know, you remember how they used to do the parades and they used to they used to be like on TV and all that type of stuff. We don't see none of that stuff no more. So it's like obviously they were like sponsored and they were paid, they were funded. Like if you look at the Doge and all that, like the Elon Musk and all them, once again they not talking about nothing either. But Doge, they was cracking down on all that stuff and they was funded by, I hate to say this name because it's so like whatever now, but George Soros and BlackRock, like all these type of people are doing this type of stuff, and it's like it's not just them. You know what I mean? Like they're almost like the Jeffrey Epstein type character. Like he's just like a mascot. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and once again, the conversations that people are talking about, I don't look at that stuff because it's so irrelevant. And what's the metaphor? We have bigger fish to fry. You know what I mean? Because we were supposed to, all this stuff's supposed to be cracked down in 2020. So the fact that all this is still happening and I'm not seeing people get it better and all that, I'm not seeing people self improve. People are starting to get more racist. People are calling for the death penalties. Like people are starting to act like literally medieval peasants. I know that sounds so messed up to say, but it's like people are medieval peasants. If you look at it, it's like they were just like a king, and then the people calling for the death penalty and giving taxes. But if we didn't have social media and all that, well, not social media, if we didn't have like technology, they would have been coming house to house asking for taxes. You know what I mean? And if not, they probably would have killed us and all that. Because that's pretty much what this is now. It's like a king dictatorship, but it's just a different word. It may be president, but they don't have the same attributes and responsibilities as well as authority, you know, because they let them do this stuff, like the military. Like without the military, that's pretty much it. Excuse me. Yeah, the weather's starting to change. We're pretty much in, like I said, we're in September now. Like they still shooting up schools, and like I said, nobody's coming to save the day, especially for black people. It's very very sad. And then I realized that like the black people, like the dark skinned people, they're starting to pick and choose who's the foundational black Americans. Like I know people starting to talk about like I don't know how I look. I probably look Arabian, or they probably think I'm Indian or Ethiopian of that nature. So because I remember I had my lawyer, like when I was fighting my felon case, I had a beard, and he suggested I cut my beard off because he said I look like an Arab. And so I was like, I didn't want to spaz on him, but and we were the same people. Like he was black, but he said I kind of look like an Arab the way I had my beard and all that. And y'all could see it. I see it too. So I understand what he meant, but still, that's stereotyping and that's racist and all that type of stuff. But I'm starting to see everybody is not on the same accord in the black community anymore. As in, like, people are starting to say they're Haitian. People are starting to say they're Jamaican, Trinidadian, and all that. People are starting to say they're from. I can't think of the stuff. Some people are saying Dominican, all that type of stuff. But they still feel like they can say the N word and all that. Like Cardi B and all those type of people. Because they feel like they're brown, but they're not. They're not brown. You know what I'm saying? The only brown people is the Indians, like the the not the native Indians, but the Hindu Indians and Arabian people as well as the Ethiopians, but they're not being represented because they're not talking about them. They're talking about when they say black and brown people, they're talking about Hispanics and they're not brown. So it's a lot of witchcraft they're doing on us, and they know that the Hispanics are kind of crazy. So as you can see, they're saying the N word. They're even claiming like the LA gangs. They're like being Crips and Bloods and all that. Like they really think they're part of like the black community because we intermingle with each other and we eat their food and we have sex with their women and all that. So they think they can say the N word and listen to our music and all that stuff. So I don't let them say the N word around me. So and then like I said, they're taking over our neighborhoods and they're coming into they're having sex with our women. So and the black women aren't loyal. So I don't even recommend having sex. Well, I can't say not recommend having sex with them at all, but having a baby with them is it won't be 100% black. You know what I mean? And we won't know if they had sex with them or not because they're not. Women aren't honorable people. They won't be honest because they're in survival mode and slaves. So therefore, they're using slave tactics by lying and shaming, almost like a zebra would a lion. You know what I mean? Like you don't think if a zebra could talk and had like a government with laws and all that together, and they felt emboldened. I think that's the word, emboldened to speak. Because they think that we won't smack them and all that. And I don't recommend smacking them and all that, but it's like nowadays they're like men. They're literally like men. Like they say bro. They've been touching other women like when they shake ass, they touching their pussy, all that stuff with vagina. They're literally sexually harassing each other. It's pretty wild. Calling each other bitch, all that type of evil stuff. And then they're also hitting men too. So it's like they're not just like smacking them like real fist. You know what I'm saying? And then these women weigh these women weigh more than me. Like I weigh about 140. They supposed to be looking like me with the collarbone and all that. These hoes are like 160 plus, and their height is like 5'5", 5'6", 5'7", 5'8". And don't let them be 5'10" and all that. They're literally gonna think they're men. So like I said, all this stuff is over with. I don't, I try to speak on things, and it's like all that stuff is over with. Then I try to keep track of major events and all that. But by the time I see it, like I'd be on my phone all day, every day, trying to monitor the situation. But they're not even giving me real content anymore. They're giving me the same media. Like it's like 5 media things that's on Twitter. Like it's called like Dexterdo, Kiriko, Polymarket, Kali. Like these type of media things, but they're all saying the same exact thing. DJ Vlad, Say Cheese, World Star Hip Hop. All of them are. It's like they're getting the information from the same exact source, but some are quicker than others, but they're still posting the same content. Because it's slop. It's AI slop. It's very disgusting, and they're trying to get over on you all because they know who's on the internet. It's just trolls, kids, immature people, drunk people, high people not in the know. Like I said, I'm making all these hour-long videos and they're not going nowhere. So it's like, and then I try to share it on Twitter. I believe they're hacking my profile. So, and then also have a temporary ban on it because it looked like I was a bot. Because I kept sharing my stuff, like sharing my videos and tweeting and deleting. Because I don't like keeping my tweets up for a long time because Elon Musk, for a nefarious reason, won't let you scroll all the way down to your old tweets. Because like I said, they're using the excuse of saving data and all that. It's very disgusting. Like for example, if I get on my desktop and try to scroll all the way down, it's gonna be capped off. And then even on YouTube, at my liked videos, like I said, I didn't learn all this stuff. I just came across it and it was like, holy shit. I looked at my liked videos. It was you could only you could only have 5,000 liked videos, and if you go past 5,000 likes, they delete they delete your other liked videos to keep that 5,000. And I didn't know that, so a lot of my stuff has disappeared. Y'all can check out my previous video that I just did with the Spotify. Y'all see the songs are being taken off without telling us from the artists, from the Spotify, all that stuff. So, like I said, I'm off all this technology. I've been doing this. I've been using technology since high school, middle school, late middle school, which was 8th grade, and that's when Facebook was just starting. Y'all know what I mean? Like that's when social media was really starting to pop off, which was on Facebook. And a lot of people don't know that because y'all like are kids and immature and all that stuff. So, like I said, I've been doing this since 8th grade, and the social media completely changed because just in middle school and high school, it connected all of us in the school. So we had our own social media. We didn't see the outside world per se. We was pretty much just all connecting with each other. We used to take like fit pics. We used to we used to record fights. They used to, unfortunately, I mean, it's they used to they used to expose girls, like when they were sending nudes, like it would circulate through the whole school. So, which is lame, which is pretty lame. We used to look at YouTube videos. Like this when like a lot of these people that y'all see now, these YouTubers like FaZe Jev and all that, like the content is literally like slop now. And a lot of people, and if I speak on it, a lot of people will say it's not that serious and he's not a sellout and all that. But if you look at his thumbnails, he doesn't even make new thumbnails. He posts a copy and paste thumbnail of the same picture of him doing like, or it's lame. But they're doing it to feed the algorithm because that's what people want to see allegedly. But doing but even doing facial expressions, that's witchcraft. You know, I I can't get into it. Like I can't really flow with it. Like I was trying to figure out how it was witchcraft, but it's like they have facial expressions for a reason. And if you over exaggerate, is whatever. I can't get into it. I can't think. So long story short, this pretty much I'm gonna make about 5 more videos just to see how everything goes, and then I'm probably gonna start making videos for the winter. I'm probably gonna come back in the winter time just to see how everything is. But if I don't see any progress, I'm probably not gonna make any more videos. So I'm kind of off this. But I like the creativity that I do on here. Like if y'all look at I just made 2 videos of showing this place in New York City called Billionaires Row. Like I did the apartment hunting, and once again I would have been looking at this stuff off camera. So I was like, let me make a nice little video with the music and all that. But then once again, these lame rappers who not even charting, you know what I'm saying? Like they not in the top 5. But then when the album comes out, it's the greatest thing in the world in the comment section. It's going #1 and all that stuff. But all of a sudden, you see who's charting the. If you see who's charting this week, like I said, it was Drake, Drake, Drake. Like what happened to all that Kendrick Lamar stuff? What happened to all the Little Uzi #1 EP? Like they going off on Anthony Fantano, saying it's the #1 thing, and he's tripping and all that. But yet it was just #1 less than 2 weeks ago. Like I just made that little video saying it was fast food music. That was less than a week ago. That was 12 days. 12 days ago. I look at the comment sections. They saying it's amazing, but then you click on the profiles. It's like foreigners, bots, trolls, and people who don't make music themselves. So, and then I believe a lot of these people are like and then it's mainly men at that. Like that's the crazy part. It's mainly men in these comment sections. Like I think I really believe it's like some down low stuff. Like I thought the women were just talking trash at first, which they are, but because they're oppressing us. They don't want feminine men and all that stuff. Oh, look at this butterfly! Wow, that was so beautiful. It didn't go in the window, but I just saw a butterfly. It was a black and yellow butterfly with the dots on it. It just went past my. It was flying to the window. Like I'm on the second floor, so I can't really, you know. So I was saying, I believe a lot of these people like music. I was saying how music is witchcraft now. So I believe that they're putting witchcraft in the music and they're making these people like chained to them, if you will. And they don't know about frequencies, vibration, and all that. And once again, they don't make music themselves or have creativity. And these people may not even have a conscience. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe a lot of these people are like the real AI, and that's why a lot of people don't like the AI. Like that's because they see that they have to try now and all that. But I believe a lot of this music is witchcraft, and a lot of these people are connected to these people on a spiritual level now. So it really doesn't matter what type of music they put out. They're gonna like them because of their personality. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of, like I said, I hate to keep saying like I said, but a lot of these artists aren't musicians. They're really just personalities and artists. You feel me? So they're really just artists. So you'll see them making clothes. They'll go to another thing. They'll make commercials. They'll live stream. They'll do all this other goofy stuff because they're artists. You know what I'm saying? And not musicians. And that's a weird thing to me because the top artists aren't even musicians. They didn't go to school for this stuff. But I believe Drake did, which is why he's so elevated in music, if you will. Like his lyrics and his style, and he's good at writing. But we don't even know if he writes his own stuff because allegedly he could have a ghostwriter. They said Beyonce has a ghostwriter, allegedly. Like I said, I don't really respect like these artists think they're so impressive, but they are not producing the songs. They aren't making the beats, nor are they, and they're barely writing the lyrics. So, and then the lyrics they're not really talking about nothing. But Drake he be talking a little bit of something in his music, but I don't listen to them. I don't listen to him like that at all. Like the last thing I heard from Drake was the some sexy songs for you, and also listen to the For the Dogs, for all the dogs, but that was only for Yeet. Like around that time, that's when Yeet, once again another rug puller. Like these artists are so lame. I was listening to Yeet. That's when he released that tape called Up to Me, and I love that tape so much. Like those beats and his flow is crazy. And he doesn't. Once again, he doesn't make music like that anymore. It's pathetic. But he may make a song like that once or twice, just to keep that fan base. But it's not. It doesn't hit like Trendy Way. It doesn't hit like Facts. Even what's that one where before that it was like I think it's called Up or something. It's like men and money don't exist, but I'm still getting those pesos. It was like his old flow. And then all this stuff is coming out loud with all these underground rappers. Like they were nerds. They were literally nerds back then. But then they came across the rap game, and they seen like the real people in it who are actually running the rap game, which I won't say. Well, I could say it. I don't care. The Bloods, the Crips, Vice Lords, the gangsters, and all that, the criminals. They're running the music industry. So They're making these people join their organizations and all that, and then they end up thinking they go hard and all that. Look at Destroy Lonely, look at Ken Carson. Like if you look at all their old stuff, they used to make TikTok. Even Summers, they used to make TikTok videos and all that. And then I didn't realize how young these dudes were. I'm thinking they like my age, 28, 27. But I mean, they're still similar to me. But like a lot of dudes are like 23, 24, 25 in the underground. So it's like I don't like that type of music. Like the beats are cool, but they not rapping about nothing. And then they're literally clones of my generation. Cardi, uh, Future, Young Thug, Chief Keef. I'll even go deeper and say Lil Pump. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, all these people were nowhere to be found around that time, and now they just popped up out of nowhere. You know, a lot of these dudes even went to college. Like I just saw Nine Vicious. This dude had little glasses on. He had his little Rick and Morty poster. He had his little Rick and Morty poster. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's like an aura loss seeing that. Like you have a Rick and Morty poster. Like I have a Rick and Morty book bag. I like Rick and Morty and all that, but it's like a Rick and Morty poster. And then they whatever. I'm not gonna say. All right. So I'm gone. That's it.